You ever have those mornings where the coffee tastes exactly like the garage smells? Like a mix of dark roast and freshly sliced white oak? It's arguably the only reason I get out of bed before the sun does.
I think most people call that workplace hazards, Tiger, but I'll let you have your romantic wood shavings moment. It is a beautiful Sunday. Are you ready to dive into the Sunday Digest? We've got some tech coming out that might actually make your vintage tool collection look, well, vintage.
Don't you start coming for my hand planes already. I've spent 30 years getting those blades to a point where they can shave a hair off a gnat's back. But I'll admit, the 2026 lineup dropping right now has me feeling like a kid looking through a toy catalog in 1985.
Let's talk about this Advent calendar series from the Toolkit Hero folks. A flashlight screwdriver hybrid? It feels like we're officially living in the future. Is that actually useful, or is it just more junk for the junk drawer?
See, that's where the skeptics get it wrong. I remember trying to wire a junction box in a crawl space while holding a flashlight between my teeth like a golden retriever with a bone. It's undignified, Alex. If they've balanced the weight right, having the light cast exactly where the driver tip meets the screw head, that's not a gimmick. That's a peace treaty between you and your sanity.
Fair enough. No dental bills for the DIYers this year. Speaking of sanity, Metabo is finally coming through with those next-gen cordless nailers. You've been grumbling about cycle times since the spring.
Because there is nothing, absolutely nothing, more soul-crushing than a cordless nailer that has to breathe between shots. You're up on a ladder, you've got a piece of crown molding held perfectly in place with your left hand, your shoulder is screaming, and you pull the trigger, and the tool just goes, "We're clunk," like it's filing its taxes.
So you're saying the August launch is a big deal?
If they've truly solved the sink depth consistency like they're claiming, it's a game changer. I want my nails to sit exactly a 16th below the surface every single time, whether the battery is at 100% or 5%. If Metabo pulls that off, I might actually stop complaining about them for a week.
I'll mark my calendar for that week of silence. It'll be a miracle. But wait, I have to ask about this DeWalt and Craig collaboration. The Edge Domino Loose Tenon tool? That sounds like fighting words for the high-end European tool fans.
Oh, the Green Tool guys are going to have a full-blown crisis over their morning muesli. For years, if you wanted a loose tenon joiner, you had to sell a kidney to afford the brand from Germany. If Craig and DeWalt have figured out a way to bring that kind of cabinet-making precision to the average Joe's bench, without the premium price tag, the woodworking world is going to tilt on its axis. It turns furniture making from a chore into something that's actually, dare I say, fun?
Okay, shifting gears from the shop to the job site, we need to talk about this HVAC shift you flagged in the report. It's not just about fixing air conditioners anymore. It's about data center cooling. That sounds intensely technical.
It's a whole different animal. We're moving away from just blowing cold air around these AI server farms. They run so hot, you could practically grill a steak on the casing. They're moving to liquid cooling. It's more like being a high-end plumber for a supercomputer than a traditional HVAC tech.
You mentioned it's a high-paying bet for veterans. Why specifically this niche?
Because a server farm can't have a bad day. If the cooling fails, millions of dollars in hardware melt. They don't just need a guy who can read a thermostat. They need someone who understands smart circuitry and high-pressure liquid systems. It's the special forces of the trades right now. If I were 20 years younger and didn't have sawdust in my lungs, that's where I'd be putting my chips.
You'd also have to learn to love smart heat pumps, though. Are you ready for the heat pump revolution, or are you sticking with your old furnace?
Look, I'm a sucker for the old cast iron radiators that clank in the night, but the efficiency of these new smart heat pumps is undeniable. The tech has finally caught up to the promise. If you're a technician and you aren't learning how to integrate these things into a smart home mesh network, you're basically a blacksmith trying to fix a Tesla. You've got to evolve or get left in the scrap heap.
Let's talk about the business side, the maker moguls. You've been looking at the Etsy trends, personalized organization, and sustainable tech accessories. It feels like people are tired of plastic, doesn't it?
Totally. People are craving something that feels like a human actually touched it. But here's the mistake I see newcomers making. They list an item and call it wooden tray. Alex, there are 4 million wooden trays on the internet. You might as well call it thing made of tree.
So what's the move? Your suggestion of hand-charred walnut serving tray, why does that work better?
It tells a story. Hand-charred implies a guy with a torch and some sweat on his brow. Walnut implies quality. You aren't just selling a place to put your keys, you're selling a piece of a craftsman's afternoon. That's what the algorithm wants to see, but more importantly, that's what a buyer wants to feel. You have to use those long tail keywords or you're just shouting into a hurricane.
It's about the SEO funnel, right? Moving from the broad, I want a gift, to the specific, I want this specific artisan piece.
Exactly. You want to be the answer to a very specific question. If someone types in minimalist desk organizer for mechanical keyboard enthusiasts and you're the only one who showed up, you've already won.
Speaking of winning, let's talk about the ultimate woodworking finish. You've always been a bit obsessive about your top coats. What's this step-by-step technique everyone is buzzing about?
It's the death of the slap it on and hope method. Most people ruin a project in the last 10 minutes because they get impatient. They buy a beautiful piece of cherry, spend 40 hours building it, and then dump a bucket of stain on it without a pre-stain conditioner. It ends up looking like a Dalmatian, all splotchy and sad.
Splotchy and sad describes my first birdhouse perfectly.
We've all been there. The secret sauce is the micro sanding between those thin coats of wipe-on poly. We're talking 600 or 800 grit. You aren't sanding the wood, you're just kissing the dust nibs off the finish. Do that 4 or 5 times and you get that glass look. It's the difference between a project that looks like a DIY disaster and one that looks like it belongs in a gallery.
And the linen gray trend for kitchens? Is that just the new white shaker?
It's White Shaker's more sophisticated cousin. It's warm, it's neutral, and it doesn't show every single smudge from a toddler's peanut butter fingers. It makes a small, cramped kitchen feel like it has room to breathe. I'm seeing it paired with brass hardware lately, and honestly, it's a look that's going to age a lot better than the all-gray everything trend from 5 years ago.
I noticed you added jazz and lo-fi woodworking streams to the DIY mastery list. That feels very un-Tiger. I thought you listened to the sound of your own thoughts in old rock.
Well, I tried the total silence route, but my thoughts are a dangerous neighborhood to walk through alone. There's something about a lo-fi beat that syncs up with the rhythm of a hand playing. Zip, click, You lose track of time. No deadlines, no customers, no when is this going to be finished texts. Just you and the wood. It's the closest thing to meditation I've ever found.
It sounds like the deep work vibe is catching on for a reason. We're all a little overstimulated.
We are, and that's really the takeaway for this Sunday, I think. Whether you're learning to cool a massive data center or just trying to get a perfect finish on a jewelry box, the goal is the same. Doing something with enough care that it actually matters.
That's a good word to end on. Before we go, what's one thing our listeners should try this week?
Pick one tool in your shop, just one, and actually learn how to maintain it. Not just use it, but take it apart, clean the dust out of the motor, sharpen the blade until you can see your reflection, and oil the moving parts. We spend so much time looking for the next big thing that we forget to honor the tools that are already doing the work for us. Treat your gear like it's the last one you'll ever own, and it might just start acting like it.
I'll start with my tablet. Maybe just a screen wipe, though. I'm not taking this thing apart.
Baby steps, Alex, baby steps.
Thanks for joining us in the Tiger Den. Stay sharp, and we'll see you on the next one.
Keep building.